The Three Little Pigs storyline that we are both in, I think the audience is going to be surprised at who becomes the wolf. I think the show is different, which is what attracted me to it. I think Paul can speak for himself, but I think that the uniqueness of the show is what really excited me about it.
Yeah, I just love the fact that it's quote-unquote fairy tales, but really it's not. All we're doing is taking actual humans, real-life individuals in the modern-day setting in New York City, and we're giving little hints of how they play into the archetype of that fairy tale. So it's not like we have CGI and supernatural effects. We are actually playing relatable people. There's nothing massively heightened about it, but there's little hints of it, and it's quite original. I haven't seen anything like that on TV.
Yeah, and we all know those stories, right? We all, whether we were told them as kids or read them in school, we all know, Hansel and Gretel, Little Red Riding Hood, Three Little Pigs. No matter what country we were from, we all have a version of that. And so I think it's very cool that this drama, when people are watching it, are going to go, oh my God, that's the Three Little Pigs right there. Or that's the Little Red Riding Hood story. And it just borrows those morals and those elements and those lessons.
What did you see when you were a kid?
You know what? I used to love that stuff. Kevin said this earlier, so I'm going to steal it from him. I'm going to change my answer. Jack and the Beanstalk. Jack and the Beanstalk. There's so many great cartoons of that. Like as a kid, that I loved the idea that you could escape, but also there was a lesson there, right? Which is like, I don't know.
I mean, there's so many. If you really look at kind of like all the fairy tales, they've all been done already. Like to me, Romeo and Juliet is a bit of a fairy tale in a certain sense, right? It's not a fairy tale, but it is like all these, like The Wizard of Oz is a fairy tale to me. Fairy tales are nothing more than like the construct of everyday stories, I don't know if I'm answering your question though. I don't know if I have a favorite fairy tale, but I'll tell you, after reading these scripts, and now that I'm involved in the Three Little Pigs storyline, and I really see it in a different way now. I appreciate it much more.
Yeah.
Are they going to surprise us with a variation of the story?
Yeah. And a much deeper, more... Yeah.
So Three Little Pigs, which is the storyline that we're in, because there's three at the same time, Hansel and Gretel, Little Red Riding Hood, and Three Little Pigs. The Three Little Pigs storyline that we are both in, I think the audience is going to be surprised at who becomes the wolf. I think the audience is going to be interested in how Kevin Williamson subverts things and kind of plays with those elements, and it'll keep the audience really engaged.
Yeah.